Hey there, fabulous dancer. In this video, we are going to be exploring two of the most popular shimmies in all of belly dance, the Egyptian shimmy and the hip shimmy. I'm going to be showing you how to create these two shimmies seamlessly and safely, and we're going to talk about how you can transition easily between them. My name is Sahira, and I'm here to teach you the beautiful art of belly dance. If you would like more fabulous belly dance tutorials just like this one, please be sure that you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so that I can send you fantastic new content every single week. There are many, many shimmies in the beautiful art of belly dance, and I love them all. But two of the most popular ones and two of the best shimmies to learn when you are just getting started are the Egyptian shimmy and the hip shimmy. And in this video, I'm going to show you the difference between the two and how you can create them safely and effectively in your body. Let's go ahead and start with the Egyptian shimmy, which is the one that I'll admit I use the most often. When we're talking about the Egyptian shimmy, we are coming from our home base, our basic posture. Feet are parallel, knees are slightly soft, pelvis is long, right? Think of taking that tailbone towards the floor, chest is lifted, shoulders are rolled back and down. The Egyptian shimmy is not concentrated in the hips. It comes from the knees and it ends up being an all over sort of vibration. So I would like you to start moving your knees as though you are walking sort of and your feet are glued in place. The important part of this shimmy, what's really going to make it bounce and what's going to make it nice and big and easy to accomplish is to make sure that you're focusing this shimmy on the back concept, right? I'm thinking about the knees going straight, not locked, never pulling up on the kneecaps, but I'm thinking about allowing the back of my knee to sort of bounce on an imaginary trampoline that's right behind my legs, right? So we're getting this little boing, 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 boing with the knees, as opposed to focusing on the forward, where you end up pushing your weight this way, which is going to give you something different in your hips. I want you to think straight leg and allowing those legs, the back of the knees, to gently bounce off of that straightened position, right? So you're going to try to keep the knees relaxed. You're going to keep the belly relaxed. You're going to keep the glutes relaxed. You're going to be using the legs quite a bit to create this shimmy, but resist the temptation to make this be a hip movement because it's not going to be. This is going to be a general jiggle, right? So we're looking for an all over sort of jiggly vibration that you're going to feel in the thighs, in the belly, maybe even in the chest if you get this movement going big enough, right? So what we're focusing on here, especially if this is the first time that you've tried the Egyptian shimmy, I want you to keep it slow. That might seem counterintuitive to do a shimmy slowly, but I promise you this is going to help your legs move evenly. The only way to get a nice even shimmy is if both legs are working equally. It will also allow you to really dive in and make sure you don't tense up. Be careful that this doesn't become a tense, fast vibration movement, right? So as you're feeling more comfortable, make sure your weight is fully placed in your whole foot, three edges of your feet here, like the under the big toe, under the little toe, and at the heel, all have weight in them. And you're letting those knees go back, 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 back. Go ahead and speed it up a little bit, but keep it medium. Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. I want you to speed it up a little bit until you start to feel a little bit of that vibration. And then just sort of pay attention. Where are you feeling the jiggle? I feel the jiggle for this shimmy a lot in the fronts of my thighs, right? A little bit in the belly, fronts of the thighs. Try to remain relaxed. Don't forget to breathe, right? Don't forget to breathe. And if it falls apart, take a deep breath. Start back over, concentrating on that back, back, back. I'm going to turn to the mirror so you can see me from this side, thinking about that back, back, back with the legs. So you're very straight up and down in this shimmy, and all of that vibration from the knees is translating here into the thighs and into the belly. If you take it a little bit faster, it starts to become the shimmy that we all know and love, which I learned as the Egyptian shimmy, right? Lots of people do this. I'm sure not just Egyptians, but this is what we call it, is the Egyptian shimmy. Important things to note. Once again, that back is what's important. Watch out that it doesn't become front, 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 because it's going to change the quality. Back, back, back. Relax as much as possible. Breathe. Lift that chest up off of the hips so that you're not here wobbling around, right? And play with this. You can do it with music, without music, but I'm going to invite you to play slowly as you practice that Egyptian shimmy. Yes? Okay, take a break. Take a break. Take a breath. Now, let's go ahead and look at the hip shimmy and sort of compare and contrast the two. The hip shimmy has a similar initiation in that we're going to be using the knees quite a bit, but this time we're going to be coming from a slightly more plied stance, a little bit more bent, and the knees are going to be focusing more on the front and back and never coming completely to straight, right? Never coming completely to straight. Whereas in that Egyptian shimmy, remember, we were bouncing off of that sort of straightened position in the leg. This one, we're thinking of the knees going forward and backwards, which is definitely going to create an action in the hips that is a bit more up and down and feels very hippie, right? Which is why this is the hip shimmy. So the knees are bending, feet are flat on the ground. Nice deep breaths. Yeah, this takes a little bit more energy in the legs because you're in a plie the whole time. After you practice this for a little while, you might start to feel the leg muscles kick in here, right? Whereas the Egyptian shimmy, because you're relying a bit on your skeletal structure as those legs come straight, I find it tends to be a little bit more relaxing. So bending and straightening, once again, starting slowly. It is so tempting to go fast. And we're going to go fast. Don't worry. We're going to go fast. But I want you to start slowly because I want you to be mindful. Are the right and the left legs moving about equally, right? Do they each get the same amount of movement? Are they moving in unison, right? One and then the other, but they're not like hiccuping or racing each other, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Nice and even is going to create the most even hip shimmy. And starting slow is the only way to make sure that happens. So I encourage you to practice this slowly. You'll be able to get more practice in too if you go slowly. So knees are bending and straightening, not a ton. I'll show you from the side so you get an idea. You could make it bigger if you want and really get down into that plie. I like to keep mine a little bit more lifted because I often interchange between the Egyptian shimmy and the hip shimmy. And this allows me to do that if my knee position isn't too dissimilar, right? So back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to turn so you can see me from one more angle here, and I'm going to take it a little faster. So the important part in this is that we do stay in that sort of plied position, which is what allows the hips to really go up and down, yeah? Staying in that plied position, making sure the knees and the toes are in alignment, right? Knees are always pointing out in the same direction as the toes. Chest is lifted, shoulders are rolled back and down. You can bring your arms out here to a beautiful belly dance arm position. Maybe go a little bit faster, keeping it even. The minute it starts to hiccup, that's cool. Make a notice of that and then take it down a notch. Grab back onto that 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and keep at it. Yeah, so you're going to start to feel it in your thighs maybe, right? Because you're in that little plied position. Your knees are bent the entire time. Take a deep breath up, keep it going. And do it again. And then if you want to take it a little faster, you can. Where do you feel this jiggle? For me, it's a little bit different than the Egyptian shimmy. I feel this jiggle a little bit more in the booty, a little bit less in the front of the thighs. There's no right or wrong answer. I want you to feel where these two shimmies are different for you so that you can recreate them seamlessly every time. And pause. Alrighty, so now that we have those two different shimmies in our bodies, I want to do a quick review and then we're going to drill them with music, alternating between the two so we can really start to feel the difference, right? So our knee-based Egyptian shimmy, coming to straight, really thinking about the back of those knees, bouncing off of that imaginary trampoline, small movements in the knees, keeping it nice and slow. Upright, making sure the pelvis stays in its nice, long, neutral position. Knee-based shimmy, bending the knees a little bit, coming into more of a plied stance, right? So this is going to be more hip movement up and down as opposed to that general jiggle that we get when we do the Egyptian shimmy. So once you are ready, we're going to try both of those to music. All right, are you ready for this? Take a nice deep breath up. We'll start with the Egyptian shimmy. 5, 6, here we go. So get that shimmy going. Knees are bouncing, in the back coming to straight. Nice long spine. If it doesn't quite work right away, no problem. Play with where your weight is in your feet. Does it get a little easier or a little harder if you shift your weight to the heels? If you shift your weight to the toes? Play around with it. See where it works best for you to begin with. Yeah, take a deep breath. All right, just a couple more counts of this and then we're going to switch to our hip shimmy. 5, 6, 7, switch. All right, so you see the difference here, right? Knees are bent, hips are very much going up and down. So it's a different look than our Egyptian shimmy, yeah? So keeping those knees nice and bent. sensing where is the wiggle, where is the jiggle, where do you feel it, right? So keeping it here with that hip shimmy. Looking good. Take a deep breath up, keep that shimmy going. Good, let's switch back to the Egyptian shimmy. Here we go. Keep it under control, we're almost there. Back to the hip shimmy. And strike your pose. Nice job. So how did that work for you? Could you feel the difference between that Egyptian straight-legged shimmy and that bent-kneed hip shimmy? And also importantly, could you see the difference? Do that drill again. Watch yourself in the mirror and make sure that you can see the difference between those two moves because they have a slightly different quality. And in the end, you want to have all the shimmies in your tool belt to be able to make the most expressive kind of belly dance when you get on the dance floor. And if you enjoyed those shimmies, I have a few more shimmies for you in my free course, 5 Fabulous Shimmies That Every Belly Dancer Should Know. You can snag your free copy at sahirabellydances.com/5shimmies. That's the number 5, SHIMMIES, and we can continue to shimmy it up on the dance floor. I look forward to seeing you there.